Welcome into another edition of Inside the Lines with Inside Carolina. I'm Tommy Ashley. That's Grace Nugent. We're sponsored by Johnny T-Shirt. Carolina sweeps Wake Forest here in Boschheimer Stadium with a 3-2 win on Sunday. Walker McDuffie gets the win. Lee Sowers, a freshman in his first collegiate start, gets the gets the game-winning RBI to take the sweep from Wake Forest. Grace, impressive performance by Carolina.
I would say I was really surprised. Wake came into this series so hot. They had scored 33 runs on Florida State, which is widely regarded and metrically regarded as one of the best pitching staffs in the country and in the ACC. And I think UNC might have just taken that title. Aiden Houck, Jake Knapp, Jason DeCaro today, and then, I think it was only the other 3 bullpen arms that came out, 4 bullpen arms. They absolutely shoved. Aiden and Jake are the only 2 starters in the ACC with ERAs under 2, and Jason, he really had a bounce-back outing today, only allowed 2 hits, 1 earned run, struck out 6. I think this was a huge weekend for the Tar Heels.
It was. Carolina took advantage of every Wake Forest mistake. Wake Forest made a few errors. Carolina made them pay for it, especially today in the first inning to take the 2-0 lead. The pitching, let's talk about that a little bit. You mentioned Jake Knapp, Aiden Houck. Jason DeCaro had a good outing today. And, of course, I've already mentioned Walker McDuffie. But just if you're going to have 3 weekend starters all eclipse the century mark with pitches thrown, Scott Forbes has talked all year that he thought his pitching staff was really good.
They're proving it to him.
Absolutely.
Really, really well. Yes, triple digit for the starters, and they're going deep into games. They're getting length, and I don't want to hype up Wake Forest too much because obviously UNC has had their number for a little while now. But they had the highest weighted runs created of any team in the ACC coming in to this. They had one of the highest OPSs and OBPs and, name all of the offensive categories. This is a really, really, really good offensive team, even if these numbers they put up this weekend doesn't show. And these pitchers just, carved them up. And that is such a big deal. That is such a luxury to have. And Forbes said it to us a few minutes ago that good pitching will always trump good hitting, and his team is backing him up on that one.
Yeah, and absolutely. Winning 3-2, it's nice to win run rule games, but you got to be able to win 3-2 ball games when it gets to the ACC tournament and the College World Series and the regionals. Carolina was able to get that done today. The hitting, a lot of people have been critical. We have too, a little bit of the offense, but I tell you what, when you put up 11 and then 17 on Wake Forest arms, it's tough to criticize the offense at all. I think one of the keys, though, is their ability to get some bunts down, get some sack bunts down and move runners and keep guys moving. And it's just been a joy to watch here. Carolina played complete baseball.
I would say they almost played more than complete baseball. This was so fun to watch, not just because sometimes the scores were really, really crooked, but putting the bunts down is one thing, and that seems like a really, really small thing, and making all of the defensive plays, but these little things are adding up, and this team is playing complete baseball. And I think when you go to the offense and these gaudy numbers that they haven't put up at all, it's a big indicator of what their ceiling can be, and it's also because some of these guys are coming out of the woodwork and really hitting their stride. Kane Kepley, he had a home run. Jackson Vanderbeek was just dynamite this series. You also had guys like Carter French, who had 2 hits yesterday and is playing incredible defense in left field, and he can put those really important bunts down. Gavin Gallagher, multiple home runs. These are guys that if you want to have sustained offensive success and just success overall, you need them to play well, and it all kind of clicked this weekend.
Absolutely. Gavin Gallagher just mashing the baseball there for a while. Carolina sweeps Wake Forest. They go on the road. They've got a Charlotte game on Tuesday night. Then they go to Virginia Tech, to Pittsburgh, have a week off, and then have NC State back here. This is a tough stretch, and Virginia Tech's not really known to be a great baseball team, but they've been impressive at times this year. Playing up there in Blacksburg on Easter weekend is going to be a test for this team.
The other team to sweep Wake Forest this season has been Virginia Tech at Wake. And that is a really gritty ball club. You don't really hear a ton of the names. They have a kid named Sam Tackett who is just really he's exploded this season. That'll be a really tough test for them. And then they have one of, I believe, the hardest stretches in the ACC going forward with those 4 road series. They only have one more 3 road series?
3 road series.
3 road series. They only have one more left in NC State at the Bosch, and that's a rivalry one. It's always played close, and then they'll end it in Tallahassee against Florida State.
Yeah, and I asked Walker McDuffie, being a local kid, is it nice to sweep a team like Wake Forest? He did not take the bait. He said he's just glad to be in Chapel Hill, his dream school.
Well, he had a smile on his face.
He did. He knew where I was going, but he didn't take it, and I understand it. Just a young man that has taken advantage of his opportunities. Anything left before we get out of a noisy Boschheimer, but a beautiful day in Chapel Hill? Carolina secures the sweep, moves on to Charlotte. Final thoughts.
I know that these numbers are crooked, but Wake, and they're very hot and cold, they can be a very, very good team. And I think that this performance from UNC, the pitching, I mean, just the outstanding, the shutdown pitching, I think Wake only scored 4 runs, and they had scored 33 against FSU. Just insane. The offense really hitting its stride, and not just that these guys are hitting, but they're hitting in rhythm. They're hitting with runners on. They're scoring runs. And then they're winning these really tight games, which have been hard in those Game 3 situations. If they can keep playing baseball like this, and not just like this, but even heating up more going into May and June, this can be a really scary team with a high ceiling.
Absolutely. Golden Nugget.
Walker McDuffie. I mean, 65 pitches today. I would say Walker McDuffie, with those 65 pitches, career high. It was basically, like Forbes said, a piggyback start. He started off a little bit shaky. He walked in the tying run, and then he had Merrick Houston's number. He had Cade Lewis's number. These are 2 of the best offensive players in the ACC. Merrick is probably going to be a first-round draft pick, and Walker McDuffie just kind of cut him up with that boomerang slider. And then I think my second one, I'm going to give a second one, Carter French. He is going to be a doctor. He is doing physics and organic chemistry, and he's now playing just really outstanding left field. The speed that is between that left field and that center field, that's really what I think the Tar Heels have needed to stabilize that outfield. And he went from being one of the worst bunters on the team to putting down a nasty sack bunt. So having him in left field, I think, can be big for them.
Yeah, Carolina rolling. It's baseball, though. It could end in a hurry.
In one pitch.
In one pitch. It could change everything. Carolina and Charlotte on Tuesday night here at Boschheimer, then off to Virginia Tech, back home next week, and then off to Pitt for a tough stretch before seeing NC State here on graduation weekend in Chapel Hill. Stay tuned to Inside Carolina for complete coverage of the Diamond Hills. Stay tuned to Grace's Golden Nuggets, our Inside Baseball with Coach Forbes, and all the other content on the Diamond Hills message boards at InsideCarolina.com. Shout out Johnny T-Shirt as our sponsor.